I might see you to Brave Valley TV from there. But yeah, you guys are more than welcome to share it, do whatever you like with it. So okay. What happens the day we come here? Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah. It's very exciting. I'm glad that you guys are getting
It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict. Today we're talking with Bethany's Gait Ranch over in Prescott, and they do a lot of great things over there, and we have a ton of stuff to cover. But just real quick, a website for you for more information on everything that we're covering today, bethanysgate.org, bethanysgate.org, or you can give them a call at 928-499-9442. And here to talk about it is Bethany Gait's Ranch, their founder and president, Christy Rose, as well as a Army veteran and client of Bethany's Gait, Daniel Buff. And thank you guys for making the trip over here from Prescott.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was the drive? Everything good?
It was good. It was great.
Okay,
yeah.
nice. It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
First
hit a deer.
We did.
Really?
Yeah, we had a doe run right out in front of us.
Oh,
but.
wow. Nice. Move out of the way of that, huh? So first off, Christy, what is Bethany's Gait Ranch, and kind of what's the goal of it?
Well, our mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and restore the lives of veterans, first responders, their families, and horses in need. So basically what that means is that we have this ranch that is about, we bring in horses who have been rescued from abandonment, abuse, neglect, and then we bring in these veterans or first responders and their family members, kind of wrap around them on the ranch, let them work with the horses. We've got goats, we've got dogs. Those that want to just use their hands can actually get out with my husband and work the ranch, the grounds, building fences, doing whatever. But it really is a place for them to come together and heal for the horses and the
Great. And how did this get started? I mean, Bethany's Gait Ranch. First off, who is Bethany, and what kind of made you start this organization?
Okay, so Bethany, I met Bethany probably 23, 24 years ago. I was a single parent, and I've had horses my entire life. So I was at a place where, I had to sell my horse, but I found a camp where on the weekends they used volunteers to work with foster children. So I thought, and in exchange for volunteering, you got to ride the horses. So I went in really kind of in a selfish way initially, and I met Bethany. She was 5 years old. She was a beautiful little foster girl who had been abused in so many different ways that she kind of went inside herself and almost like she was in this other place. But she'd get on the horses. After a couple times on the horses, she opened up and this little girl came out, and she and I really bonded. And I just decided at that point in time that someday I was going to create a ranch that was 24/7 about children like her. And we started in California in 2006. And initially we were foster children, and then we expanded beyond that. My husband was a Marine for 24 years. My son is currently serving. And my husband said, these guys are coming back, and it's not a comfortable situation. He said, first off, we're men. We don't want to talk about our feelings. And then when you put military training on top of that, it's like, push it down, suck it up, move forward. And he said, I think what I've seen happen with these kids and these horses is going to be really awesome for these guys. And women too. We have a lot of women veterans. And so initially we started working with active duty out there and just saw that it allowed them to be in a place where they're active, they're moving their hands, working things. If they get, sitting in a room talking to someone like we're sitting here, and someone going, so tell me how you feel about that. It doesn't work. And having the horses out there, things, we've had veterans and even active duty come in and say things and go, I've never told anybody that before. because something about the horses and just the peaceful environment and the ability that if they do get triggered and start to feel anxious, that they can just go, I need to go walk away, and go walk across their acreage or do whatever and breathe and then come back. And so we started it, and it just took off. And then when we moved here in 2012, we decided let's just focus on veterans specifically, and then a few months in we added first responders.
Oh, okay. And now, Daniel, from your point of view, I mean, being a veteran and a client who's been on the ranch and kind of went through that program, tell me a little bit about your background and just what the whole just experience meant for you.
Okay. Well, like you said, I was in the Army, and then I went into the Navy Reserve. So over the span of the last 14 years, I was serving. And I heard about this from another veteran at school, and so we hit it off and we went out there. And I thought it sounded like a really cool idea. And then when I got there, it was way cooler than I thought it would be in the first place. It was, we got to. I don't have any experience with horses, but I got to groom the horse, and then they showed me how to take care of the saddle and all this kind of stuff. And I go riding, and then all of a sudden we're on these trails, and like one of the other veterans, he put it better. Like he said, you kind of forget what year it is at some point when you're just, it's all nature. You're just on this horse riding out there. There's no sound or anything else besides, what's going on in nature, and you'll see animals out there and all that kind of stuff. So it's really good to just kind of, that was just the first time I went. So then we put the horses away and everything, and then the next time I called Christy up, and I was like, I want to bring my children out there. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I brought them up, and we all got to bond with the horses, bond with each other. One of my kids told me on the way home that he wanted to be a cowboy when he grows up. I mean, it's just it made me so proud. I was like, all right, man, that's cool. You can go to the movies anytime. There's a new superhero movie coming out all the time. You can go to Chuck E. Cheese or whatever you do. But, learning how to work around horses and then ride four-wheelers around a ranch and do all this other kind of stuff is something that they're going to remember that for a really long time.
Great, and that's awesome that you can experience that with your children and your family as well. Real quick, before we take our first break, talk about how you guys acquire these horses, because that's a really whole nother part of this.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
Right, absolutely. So we use rescue horses in our program, and that's very intentional, because a lot of times the bond that is created between the client and the horse is because they've both been through some really rough stuff. And these horses have a sixth sense almost to recognize that and understand that. And there are rescues out there that are awesome for people who they've had a horse injured, maybe they've come upon hard times and they can no longer care for their horse, and so they provide sanctuary for them. We rescue horses who are in dire need, so we are limited to 10 horses due to the size of property we're on, and then also our budget. And so we bring in horses that are going to go to slaughter. And our most recent rescue was a year ago. We rescued 2 yearlings that had never really been around humans, and we got them 15 minutes before they were about to go to slaughter at a feedlot in Nevada, and then had them brought down. And so now we're working with them, and it's just really kind of cool to see them go, wow, humans are really awesome.
Yeah.
And one of them in particular, everyone's always like, oh, Daphne just loves me because she's got to be in your back pocket all the time. So it's just a really cool thing for the clients to experience that kind of thing.
So, I mean, you're getting them past the point of auction.
Yes,
okay.
they're past the point of auction. They were already at the feedlot, or we've had some in the past that animal control has confiscated. And, Yavapai Humane Society currently doesn't have a place to put livestock, but they are opening a facility to be able to do that. And so we'll get calls from animal control, we have not here, but in California, saying, we have nowhere to put this horse, and we've had horses that have come in that are just on their deathbeds kind of thing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're not only benefiting, I mean, the veterans as well, but the horses. I mean, you're basically
Yes.
saving their lives.
And they're saving each other, and that's the really awesome thing. My husband and I always just say, we're just facilitating. We're
Yeah.
just bringing them together and allowing them to do whatever, give each other whatever they need.
Great, that's great. Well, we're going to take our first break again real quick for more information, ton of information on the website, bethanysgait.org. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the volunteers, some of the programs they have. They also have a couple events coming up, and we'll kind of give you a lowdown on all of that. Countywide, back in a few minutes.
We've known for years that this is the #1 cause of lung cancer, smoking. That's why the Surgeon General issued this warning. But do you know the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers? It's in this room. You can't see it or smell it. It's radon. Radon is an invisible radioactive gas that seeps inside your home from underground. It can build up to dangerous levels without notice. Now the Surgeon General has issued another lung cancer warning. And whether you smoke or not, breathing radon can cause lung cancer. That's why you need to have your home tested. Protect your family. Call 1-800-SOS-RADON. Heed the warning. Have your home tested, because radon problems can be fixed.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing. And it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Ranch and founder president Christy Rose is here, as well as veteran and client Daniel Buff. They're both here to talk about this. And before we went to break, we had you talking about how you acquire these horses, and you really rescue many of them before slaughter, before they're killed. And Daniel talked about his experience. But each veteran, are they paired up with a horse kind of specific to them?
Usually what we do is they get to choose the horse they want to work with. Okay. So we take them around, introduce them to all the horses, tell them the horses' stories. Sometimes we'll tell them the horses' limitations. We have a little pony who is blind in one eye, and she's got foot issues, and she's got EMS, which is the closest thing to human would be like she's diabetic. Okay. And so she's too small for an adult to ride, but sometimes the adults want to start working with her. So then we ask them, which horse did you feel most drawn to? And there are some occasions where we'll just say, we think this is going to be a good fit for you. Sometimes that's just based on availability, and if it's not a good fit, then we'll switch it around.
Okay. Now, Daniel, talk about kind of the horse that you kind of had that connection with, and that first meeting, and then how that relationship has evolved.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I hadn't been around horses very much in my life. They said, "Hey, ride this horse, Tahoe." I went up and I was learning how to get the horse ready for riding and all that kind of stuff. And then it just became natural. It was like we're learning how to work as a team now. You know, get over the quirks of both of us. Like I do little things, you know, with the reins and stuff that the horse doesn't like sometimes. And so you just gotta understand the mood of the horse. and really appreciate what that horse is offering to this situation. Those guys are huge and they're really strong, and they can really open up. So you really want to learn what you're doing, and I want to become proficient, and I think I can. And that horse Tahoe's got a. I believe that horse was really abused back in the day. And so there's certain things you can't do with the horse, and you got to learn that kind of stuff, and just look forward to growing that kind of a bond with Tahoe.
Yeah, it's amazing that a horse that, like Tahoe, you mentioned, was abused in the past, but can kind of learn to regain the trust of a human like Daniel, and it's just that connection that you talked about earlier is just amazing. That after what some of these horses go through, they still are able to kind of rebound and really turn around.
And she has a particular issue somewhere along the way, the way they saddled her. And so her eyes get wide, and so you have to tighten her up a little bit, walk her around, let her get comfortable with it, tighten her up a little bit, or she's going to rear up and things. Yeah. And that was kind of one of the things with Daniel is just learn, okay, I have to be slow with her, and a lot of times they can take those things and transfer it out into their human interactions, which is really helpful.
Can you quickly explain some of the programs that you guys have? You have several different programs. Can you talk about
Yeah,
those?
they kind of fall into three categories. So we have our equine facilitated psychotherapy, and that is an actual mental health professional is part of the team who is trained in equine facilitated psychotherapy. And there's a few different methods that you can use. Ours, we kind of feel like we have our toolbox and we pull different things out. They might use the Gala method, which is on the ground. You create a specific activity, maybe have the client build a course for the obstacle course for the horse to go through, and have them label that with obstacles in their life, and then try to get the horse through, and then without touching them, and then you talk that through, and different points come up. And then our most popular program is our mentor program, and that is where clients are paired with a mentor who is not necessarily a mental health professional, but they are an excellent horse person. Most of them own their own horses, and a lot of them are veterans or veteran spouses, and they help them one-on-one to learn stuff about the horses from the ground up. And nothing is cookie cutter. Everything is based on what the client's goals are and what the client's needs are, that kind of a thing. And as part of that, we also do 2 groups, and there are riding groups, and that's where Daniel, what he's been a part of, and they come in, and we have 3 to 4 that come in, and we just work with the horses all together, and then we go out on a trail ride and come back. And that's also the program that most of the kids fall into. And then we have a retreat program. So once a year, we have a relationship with the Wounded Warrior Battalion of the Navy, which is mostly Marines. And they have Wounded Warrior Battalion West and East. The West is at Camp Pendleton, and this is not a lot of people get them confused with Wounded Warrior Project. Wounded Warrior Project is a charity. This is the actual battalion. The Marines and sailors in this battalion can no longer do their regular job due to illness, being wounded, or injury. And so they come into that to rehab them and try to get them back into active duty or to transition them out. So once a year, the commanding officer hand picks the guys, and they come out here and spend 4 days with us. And then we also do marriage retreats, and we're going to start doing more like the retreats we do for the Wounded Warriors for the local veterans.
Okay. And real quick, volunteers. Can people volunteer?
Yes.
Contact you guys to help? What would they be doing?
We use volunteers in a variety of different places. We use them for horse care, so that's everything, from feeding, cleaning stalls to grooming. We use them for exercising the horses because we want to make sure that the horses are kept in shape and don't get too hot for the clients, so they're safe for the clients. Then we have our mentors, where volunteers are used, and the horse exercise and the mentors do have to have experience to be able to do that. And then we also use them for admin type things, fundraising, helping in the office, those type things.
Okay, great. Well, when we come back, we'll talk about some of the events that they have coming up, and also for more information or to help just help out with the organization, bethanysgate.org is a great website, and then a phone number, 928-499-9442. Again, when we come back, we'll talk about some of the upcoming events. This is Countywide, back in a couple minutes.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking with Bethany's Gait Ranch over in Prescott. Founder and president Christy Rose is here, as well as veteran and client Daniel Buff. Just kind of talking about everything that they do over there, helping out horses as well as veterans and first responders as well. You guys have some events coming up, Christy. Can you talk about those?
Yes, we do. This Friday, April 22nd, we do have what's called Heroes Among Us. And this is actually in conjunction with the ASPCA and their Help a Horse Day, where they've asked rescues around the nation to hold events during the particular days, April 22nd through 26th. And actually what we're doing is we're honoring veterans and horses who have made a difference in the community and are still doing so. And we also have a speaker coming in from California who's Lieutenant Colonel David Weir with the Marine Corps, who's going to be speaking at that. And as part of that, ticket sales have ended on that, but there is an event that takes place from 1 to 3 that's open to the public, and it is free of charge. That is a kind of a vendor fair with organizations that are helping horses or offering horse services, and then also those offering services to veterans. And so that would be this Friday from 1 to 3 p.m.
Okay.
And then our big event is May 7th. We do a Kentucky Derby celebration, and it's an absolute blast. We do view the Kentucky Derby. We have a hat contest. We have a bow tie contest. Just really kind of try to recreate what's going on at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. And that is from 1 to 5 p.m. And ticket prices are range from $20 to up to $50 for if you're doing a family of 4. And they could purchase those tickets and get more information about both those events on our website.
Okay, great. Again, that website is bethanysgate.org. Bethanys Gait, G-A-I-T is how you spell gate for that, .org. Again, the phone number 928-499-9442. And real quick, Daniel, what do you think veterans and first responders should know about a pro organization like this? And what do you think really How does this benefit them?
Well, with the bonding, building trust, being able to bring your family out to a peaceful place, is finding that peace and being able to build those kind of relationships is key. A lot of people that work in those fields are exposed to challenging things, So it's just a chance to get outside of that and find that inner peace.
Great. Perfect. Well, I want to thank you both for coming here today, and great work over there. And April 22nd is one event. That's this Friday, and then May 7th during the Kentucky Derby is another event. Thank you guys for making the trip over here, and have a safe trip back.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to do it for today's Countywide. Bethany Gates. More information, bethanysgate, GAIT.org. That's today's Countywide. We'll see you next time.